but let's hear some info about Coco.
All right. Coco was directed by Lee Unkrich and Adrian Molina and stars Anthony Gonzalez as Miguel, Gael Garcia Bernal as Hector, Elena Ubach as Mama Imelda, and Benjamin Bratt as Ernesto de la Cruz. Also starring Renee Victor, Jaime Camille, Afonso Aru, Gabriel Iglesias, Ana Ofelia Murguia, and Natalie Cordova Buckley. Coco is an animated Disney Pixar film that premiered on October 20th, 2017 during Morelia International Film Festival in Morelia, Mexico. The film received both critical and box office success, having earned over $800 million worldwide and Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song. All right, Jamie, tell us what this story is.
The story of Coco doesn't actually follow the titular character, Coco. It follows a 12-year-old boy named Miguel who has a passion for music. However, his family has a strict no music rule, thus resulting in a little rebellion from Miguel. He discovers the guitar of Ernesto de la Cruz and a picture of his great-great-grandma Mama Imelda. This makes him believe Ernesto is in his family. After his family finds out about his hobby, he runs away just down the block on the Day of the Dead to enter a music competition. He steals Ernesto's guitar because, hey, he's family. However, stealing from the dead on the Day of the Dead is illegal to the dead, so he ends up in limbo, meaning he's not dead and he's not alive. His dead family finds him and takes him to the land of the dead to figure out how to make him alive again. There, he runs away again because of the family's stupid no music rule. He wants to find Ernesto de la Cruz to get his blessing to go home and play music. He recruits a stranger named Hector to help him. Hector wants nothing more than to see his daughter once more, so he helps with the condition that Miguel put his picture on the ofrenda. Shit happens, secrets unfold, betrayal, love, murder, family, the end.
Family, the end. All right. That was a great summary. Included everything. All right. So, Coco, did you see this film when it first came out in theaters?
No, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it once I got Disney Plus.
Okay. Was this your first viewing?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I did see it in theaters, and I can remember seeing it and the reveal of the Land of the Dead, when he walks through and just it opens up and just reveals the towering, not skyscrapers, just buildings on top of buildings and all the technicolors. It was gorgeous, and it literally took my breath away. And that's kind of how I feel about the whole film.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous film from beginning to end. Everything about this movie is spectacular.
Yeah, the animation is absolutely top notch.
Mm-hmm.
The colors they use, and then each character has their own personality, not only in the voice acting that's done, but also in the animation.
Mm-hmm. In the way they move and act. You can tell everyone apart, even though they're all just skeletons.
Exactly.
Or most of them are just skeletons.
And I loved how at the very beginning, it's the Mexican themed Disney introduction music.
Oh, yeah.
And then it goes into the origin story. And I thought that was incredible how it's done on the, what are they called?
Yeah, I know. It's, I can't, we should probably have looked that up. I can't even think of the American word for them, of the little flags that are on.
Banners?
Yeah, little banners.
Kinda.
There's definitely a word for this that we don't.
I'll let you look that one up.
I'm gonna, yeah. Okay, well, they're called papel picados.
Okay.
They're paper something. But yeah, the way they tell the story on this picados,
of Mama Imelda and how they became shoemakers.
Why they hate music, why they ban it, and why they're the Footloose. Okay, so they're the Footloose family, and they make shoes. Was that something the story people were kind of a connection, kind of a little wink to the, is that anything, or is that just something your husband doesn't believe in, a coincidence?
I don't know if they were trying to pull from Footloose. I don't think that's something they were trying to do.
I guess anytime it's no music or dancing, that's just what my mind goes to.
Well, Footloose didn't have a no music band. They had Christian music.
It was no dancing though.
Yeah, but
and
this
no
family didn't say no dancing.
Okay, you're gonna dance to no music? You think that family's is a big dancers? Just the abuela just. I don't even know if they could do that. That might be too rhythmic. That might be considered somewhat musical.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't get that connection at all, but good catch, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Nothing makes a compliment feel so genuine than the I guess afterward, You
it's
look great
I don't
today,
know if I mean it or not.
Your breath smells great, I guess. Yeah, see how it takes it away? Okay. I loved this movie. I guess. See, it's not the same. But I don't guess on loving this movie. I did love this movie. It was a great film. I loved Hector and Miguel and their relationship. Well, okay, before we really get into everything, should we just spoil it? I think it's best so we can just talk in and out of it.
Yeah, I mean, Hector ended up being Miguel's great-great-grandfather who ran away, but he didn't really run away. He was trying to go back home, and Ernesto de la Cruz murdered him and stole all of his songs and his guitar.
Yes. And then in the ultimate power move, made a movie about it where he made a movie about the poisoning where someone poisoned him, but he fought it off and won.
Exactly.
Yes. So like I was saying, like their chemistry works really well. And it's really obvious that like they have a connection beyond just friendly meeting or whatever. Like there's something else there. And then when it's revealed that they are family, it makes a lot more sense. The way they work off each other, the way they get on each other's nerves and what like still enjoy each other's company is a real familial thing, I feel like.
Yeah. And their personalities seemed very, very similar. Mm-hmm. And especially like when they played music together at the festival.
At the like, song competition?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that song. No. Say that every time. It's not El Pollo Loco. It's El Poco Loco. Yeah, that song is really fun. And the way like he kind of has to push him to get up there to perform for the first time. And then he just joins in and just makes that like elevates that song.
Yeah.
And I love the animation on the skeletons, the way they can like pop off like bones and stuff and then just like bring them back together, especially when they're like dancing and singing and stuff. Mm-hmm. He's just like tossing himself around. It's an overall just like, it's a really fun movie. I was about to say an overall fun movie, but like there's also some like really, really sad moments.
Yeah, there's some messed up, but I'll put my 2 cents on that scene. I love that scene. And I liked like the actual Battle of the Bands thing, like all the bands before it too, like the techno emo guy, the rock band.
And if you notice, I feel like a lot of them were also playing renditions of Remember Me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all were.
Like, and that's what he wanted to play too, but picked a much better song. It was A Poco Loco supposed to be another Ernesto de la Cruz song or just another song? Yeah, it's not really dated. Not a big deal, but I just thought of that.
Yeah, but that was a happy moment. Let's go to a low moment.
Let's go to a low moment. What low moment do we want to start with? Let's go with like the first early low moment. The second death of the one dude. The forgetting, the fading.
Oh, I was going to talk about the Ernesto de la Cruz death.
Oh, at the way beginning.
The way beginning. Like, how dare they show that on a children's movie? A man getting crushed to death by a bell.
Yeah.
How dare you? Like, we've reviewed some Disney movies in the past. Like, the first one of this season with Princess and the Frog, how Dr. Facilier is dragged to his death. Yeah. You don't see him physically get crushed by a bell.
Well, it's not like you see, like, blood splatter or anything. That might be a bit too much.
This was a bit too much for a children's movie, in my opinion.
I think it's okay.
I didn't. I saw it, and I was like, oh, I forgot that happens.
That's the biggest hint that's the bad guy, because Disney only gruesomely kills bad guy and parents. Bad guys and parents. That's who Disney can gruesomely kill. Bad guys and parents. Anything else, like, they have to slowly die, slowly fade away after being sung a very interesting song. But yes, him dying like that at the end of like super upbeat song. It's super ironic too that he dies after singing "Remember Me."
I know.
Like, a little too on the nose there, God, if there's a God in this universe. Which, it brings me to a random question. In the Coco universe, are Mexicans the only ones who get an afterlife? Or is it like there's different lands of the dead, each for like different cultures? I mean, that makes more sense. And obviously you don't have to get into everything with this, but like, Day of the Dead, I don't think is technically a religious holiday. I think it's like somewhat Christian and Catholic just because a lot of Mexicans are Catholic. But like,
Day of the Dead is just a cultural thing.
Right. So that's why I'm curious. Is Jesus there? Is there a Jesus in the land of the dead?
Is there a skeleton Jesus? We need to know this, Jesus? Disney.
We need to know. Coco 2. The skeleton Jesus is back.
That's okay. I don't know. There's a couple things. Like, there's one main problem with this movie that I have, but I'll get to that later.
Okay.
When I was like researching this bit, I went onto this post where it was like a lot of loopholes in Coco, and people were asking that same question. And I think it's just along the terms of like, this is how Mexico celebrates their dead, and this is how it happens in Mexico in this culture. But in other cultures, they have their own things. It doesn't make that event any less than Day of the Dead. Like, it's everyone has their own way of celebrating the dead and remembering and everything.
So if there's that means there'd be multiple lands of the dead in the Coco universe. What happens if like two people from two different cultures marry each other and then die? Do they go to the separate ones? Do they go to which one they celebrated more? Sorry, these are really random and stupid questions.
We're getting really deep here.
Yeah. Oh, no. So I watched this movie with Katie, and some of those loopholes angered her with it, because she was like, all they need to do is send Miguel back. And since he goes back, he knows about Hector, so therefore Hector will be known. And so it doesn't work. Coco is kind of like, doesn't matter in the equation. But I was like, no, because the knowledge has to be passed down from living person to living person.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, and then when I explained that, she's like, oh, that's stupid. I'm like, well, now you're just calling aspects of people's culture stupid. And she's like, well, no, I'm just calling the movie stupid. I'm like, okay, well, fair.
Yeah, that was a question on one of those threads that I was reading too. Is like, why can't he just remember everyone? And it's like, it has to be passed down by people who knew them, or their picture has to be on the ofrenda, which that's my biggest gripe with this movie.
Okay, let's get into it. I was curious.
Hector has always been on the ofrenda, just not his face. He has always been on the ofrenda, just not his face.
Well, apparently the face is the only thing that matters, because that's what the scanners try to detect. The scanners are face recognition scanners.
His picture has always been on the ofrenda. He has always been there.
It was folded and it was not in view. Therefore, it does not count.
He was there. The guitar was folded. His whole body besides his face was there.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, neither did the internet. No one else had this gripe.
I think if you asked someone who celebrated Dia de los Muertos, and they said, if you take a picture of like a married couple and rip someone's face out of it intentionally so they're not in that picture, would they be considered on the ofrenda? I think they'd say no. I don't know, but like, I think that's why they had the facial recognition thing, because of that, because that's apparently the rules.
It's stupid thing. He has always been on the ofrenda. And
I mean, the
stories of him had technically been passed down that he had left his family. So there were stories of him.
So I think the reason why that didn't count is because they couldn't connect those stories to an image of him. Only Coco could connect him to an image of that. Like, you need to remember not only the story of the person, but also what they look like. Otherwise, see that? Yeah, this is another thing Katie and I got into, because otherwise it doesn't count. Because that's why she had to have the picture. Like, if Coco didn't have the picture, it wouldn't have counted, because she didn't pass on the image and stories of her dad. You know, I'm not a scholar on Mexican culture. I can't answer all these questions. I'm not the director of this film. Yeah, these are small things, but like, they're very small gripes. But for me, like, I'm not thinking about that, especially in like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it the whole movie. It was just something that I had thought of after the fact. And I was thinking, like, he's always been on the ofrenda.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, if he took off his head and they like scanned his body, that might have worked.
Yeah.
That might have worked. We can get into my major gripe. It's not as technical as that one. Mine is, I wish we knew more about his living family. I feel like we don't learn anything about them. And I know it's not completely about them. And I think I'm slightly comparing it to Encanto, which is just another Disney film heavily focused on family. And that one, you learn a little something about each of the extended family and everything. In this one, for me at least, I don't really. Like, you learn about Hector and Mama Imelda and Coco and Miguel, obviously. But other than that, everyone else you don't really know about. Like, you get nothing from Miguel's parents. Those people are just very basic, just part of the family. And then at the end, you see one of his cousins and one of his uncles. One of them's playing like a violin and the other one's playing an accordion. And I don't know. I feel like if a line or something showing that they were also hiding like their love for music beforehand, I don't know, just something to kind of connect, to give us a little more insight into like the living family.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like they're not the important ones in the story, so you don't need to know that much. And in Encanto, yeah, every one of the characters
it's all
has their own
about them.
Yes,
right.
But in this one, Miguel is the main guy, and it starts off with the story of the great-great-grandfather and Mama Imelda, and that's where your focus is in the story. When he goes to the land of the dead, then he's around that family there. So I do wish we knew a little bit more about his family, but again, like, I wasn't too hung up on that because I was more interested in, like, the dead family.
I agree. I mean, even the dead family, I wish, like, there was a little bit more. Like, they're all interesting in how they move and stuff, like we said earlier, but we don't find out a lot about them either. Like, I was trying to figure out which one married Coco.
I think it was the shorter old one, because the two tall tios, the two tall uncles, were brothers of Mama Imelda, I believe.
Oh, brothers of Mama. Okay.
Let's get to the other death that you wanted to talk about. The old guy who has his second death.
Second death, where he apparently in this universe, when the last living person either forgets about you or dies, you die again. You are Thanos snapped out of the land of the dead to, who knows, maybe like the land of the dead is purgatory, and then you're actually going to like the afterlife after that, or maybe you're being reborn, or maybe everything's just going black. Who knows? Is
there a land of the dead for the second death?
Is there a land of the dead?
Second bridge?
There's a second bridge.
Is it never ending?
I don't think it's a second bridge because like the skeleton disappears. I guess then you're a ghost. I don't know, but yeah, that part is super cheery, you know?
That scene, like, even though it is real down, it starts off super, like, it's a great scene overall.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts out great with Hector, like, trying to get the guitar, and he's like, no, what about my mini fridge? What about my femur? Where's my femur? And then you find out that he's, like, disappearing or being forgotten. But then the song that Hector sings to him, it's funny, but it's in, like, a sad moment. But
it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny song. Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought.
What was Knuckles replacing? Was it nipples?
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be like that, or like breasts, bosom, some form of that.
I wonder if that's a real song. If it is, I kind of want to like research it and find out what the actual words are. Because nipples is the only thing that would like work, because knuckles and nipples.
I think you might have chosen knuckles because that's something people will call, like you say, they drag their knuckles, and a knuckle dragger, I think, is usually referred to as someone like Neanderthalic or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like caveman-esque.
Yeah.
But I think it was supposed to be like bosoms or breasts, boobies.
Yeah.
Titties, something like that. Knockers. Her knockers. There you go.
I don't know if that's a Mexican word, though.
Oh, it is. Is that
in their culture?
Definitely, that came straight from Mexico. Knockers. El knockers. Exactly.
The scene overall tells so much. Like, it shows Miguel's compassion. He's sad about this man disappearing forever that he never knew. And it shows Hector's acceptance that is going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows Dante's understanding of what's going on.
Oh, Dante's? Yeah. I will say there's a bit too many hints that he's a spirit guide, because it's like 3 people tell him like, oh, that's an interesting looking spirit guide, and Miguel's just like, no, he's just a dumb dog. Like, okay, like, no, clearly he's a spirit guide, and obviously it's revealed that he is.
I don't think at the beginning he was meant to be a spirit guide until they went to the land of the dead.
And then he just got dragged along and became one?
Yeah.
Good for him. Good boy.
Good job, Dante.
Good job, Dante.
I also liked with Miguel in general, like, he's the main character of this story. I love how they made him act. They actually acts as how a kid his age would act, bragging about random stuff, showing how he runs this way, but he used to run this way, and his dimples and the rebellion. Like, it's super authentic as to how a child that age would act and talk.
And his little like hideaway where he has all the stuff he likes, and it's his little like escape kind of.
Yeah.
And I love the way he just like, he has his videotapes that he like watches and rewatches, and he like taught himself guitar, and just he's building his own little personality, like you said, of rebellion. Just like, there's got to be more than just what my family has taught me kind of thing, and he wants to explore what else is out there.
Exactly. And it's great. And the shrine he has to Ernesto de la Cruz really reminded me of when I was his age, about 12, 13-ish. I had a shrine.
Don't say it.
to Johnny Depp and Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, my whole room was posters on posters of it. Who'd you think I was going to say? Ernesto de la Cruz?
No, I thought you were going to say Bon Jovi.
Oh, no. Johnny Depp came before Bon Jovi.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure Bon Jovi came before Johnny Depp, but
yes, but
semantics.
In the mind of me knowing who people are.
In Jamie's world, Johnny Depp came before.
But yeah, I had like the whole shrine to Johnny Depp everywhere in my room. It was full. I loved it. Yeah, but that's what that reminded me of. And that's another, like, they really made Miguel act like a kid that age because that's what I did. And I'm sure a lot of people related to that scene.
But no, yeah, I agree. He is such an actual little kid. I will say, this is something that Katie brought to my attention. He's got like a very basic character design to him. He's just like a plain little kid. And Katie said, I wonder if they did that to make it look better when he has the skeleton face on. That's what he has for most of the film. And that looks interesting and stuff. But like, I don't know, he just has a very generic little boy face.
I think it's because he's not yet in puberty.
Right. So he hasn't gotten a lot of distinct characteristics. Yeah. But yeah, that is just something I wanted. Like, I do think there's something there that like they designed a face that would look good with a skull painted over it, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess any face could do that. I don't know, maybe.
Who was your favorite character? Wait, no, my guess for your favorite character.
Yeah, I was about to say, no tricking me.
Tell me who it is. My guess for your favorite character is Hector.
My guess for your favorite character, well, I have two, but I'm not sure.
You can only choose one.
Technically, one's not really a character. Kind of is. Okay, well, I'm going to go with this one. I'm also guessing Hector.
Mine was not Hector.
Mine was Hector.
Mine was Dante.
God, son of a... I wrote right here. No, we're doing this. Okay, how do I do this? Sky, I had it. I'm going to show you. Where is it? Share screen. Look.
When you said one is not really a character, I was like, oh, for sure, he's thinking Dante.
Yeah, do you see where it's highlighted?
Dante/Hector.
Dante/Hector. I put Dante because I'm like, she obviously loves Dante a lot. But I'm like, is he really a character? He's a dog. Is that, I mean, he kind of is. I should get like a half a point. That should be something. I should take a picture of this and post it with when this episode comes out, like vindication. All right, I can stop sharing my screen with you.
But yes, Dante was my favorite character, especially like in that scene where the guy has the second death, like Dante's eyes, beautifully animated. His whole character, he's just a weird dog and he follows and helps Miguel and he's there the entire way. And when he becomes a spirit animal, it was just like, oh, hell yeah. Like I laughed a lot because of Dante, like when he becomes a spirit animal and he's like has the little wings and he jumps to fly, but then he's just whoosh and goes away and you're like, Dante!
Just immediately drops like a sack of potatoes. But then he comes back and he's fine. Yes, yeah. Dante is a great character. Should have went with my gut. But no, I love Hector. Just like, he's just this guy who kind of seems like criminal kind of type, you know, like trying to skirt the system and get around it. Exactly. But then you find out he has a heart of gold. Like, he's compassionate. You said that scene with the other dude second dying, like, showed Miguel's compassion. I also think it showed Hector's compassion a lot. Here he is, like, being with a friend in his final moments and singing him what he knows is his friend's favorite song, even though it's a very, one would say, inappropriate song for the moment. But, you know, I don't know. I just love Hector. I love the way he moves, like the way, like I said earlier, the way he can just like pop off joints and stuff and like throw them around. I don't know. You feel for him. You want him so badly to get on the ofrenda, even though he was technically already there.
He was always on the ofrenda.
you want him so bad to like get Miguel back and like have Coco remember him. Because that ending when Miguel sings "Remember Me" to Coco and she just has that like blank expression she's had the entire time, and then it slowly like starts to lighten up and a smile grows across her face and she starts singing with them and you're just like, oh my god, she's remembering the song, she's remembering her dad. You're literally tearing up right now a little bit.
It's such a sweet moment.
It hits so hard. I remember when this movie came out, people said like, it's a Pixar film so it's gonna make you cry, obviously, but the moment at the end, that's gonna hit you the hardest. And does. It hits me so hard every time. Like, I was just full on tears and that moment's happening. Even before it really starts, just because I know what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then she pulls out the photo and is like, my dad used to sing me these songs every night. And you're like, boom, there it is. Hector's saved. He's got all these new living people who remember him now. And the day is won. And then it fades to Coco dying.
And then putting a second picture of Coco on the ofrenda. She already had the picture of her as a little girl on the ofrenda. Why did they need another picture?
That's technically true. I'm not sure if it would work. That was like a baby skull. So if they did the facial recognition thing, it'd be like, there's no this size skull on any ofrenda. The whole checkpoint at the land of the dead is stupid. That was the whole point of the film. You see, you're finally getting the point, is that government is here to subdue us, Jamie, and we need to take it down. Dead. Even in the dead, there's bureaucracy everywhere, even when you're dead. But yes, very sad scene. But seriously, like every time I watch this film, I'm crying from like when Miguel makes it back to Coco until the end credit, because then it's a happy cry afterwards, because then it's Coco's is dead by the next Dia de los Muertos, but that's sad, but it's happy because now she's reunited with her parents and Hector gets to see her and they get to be a family again. And then like there's music in their family now, like not only like I said earlier, not only is Miguel musical, but there's all their people in his family who also share a love of music and they're finally able to express it.
Yeah.
So yeah, one last thing, the music in the film is amazing. Like there's so many good songs in it.
There's like several different versions of Remember Me.
Right. That song is like a perfect encapsulation of the music. There's like a big Broadway show tune style of Remember Me. Then there's a slow lullaby version. Then there's like a medium version that's just kind of like a kind of pop version.
And then there's the million versions at the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, exactly. There's just, the music is so great.
I think the song is brilliant. I was just sick of it by the time the movie ended. I was like, I've heard this song enough. Play a different song.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me. You listen to the Spanish language one. That way it's a little different.
The music was great. It makes you cry, but it also makes you laugh a lot. Like, even up at the very beginning when the abuela goes to the square and gets Miguel and brings him home and the dog is following it and she takes her shoe and throws it at the dog. And she's like, you can't be friends with a stray. They'll follow you everywhere. Now go get my shoe.
If she didn't break her stride, takes the shoe off, whips it, and then just keeps walking with like one bare foot. Just let's go. Oh, she was so intense. All right. Anything else?
And then is Ernesto the Mexican Elvis?
Kind of. That's what I kind of thought of.
Yeah.
Started more like subdued and stuff, and then just became this huge, grand, flashy kind of show-stopping entertainer who kind of stole his whole shtick from other people.
Yeah.
There's that new Elvis movie coming out with Tom Hanks and dude playing Elvis. So who would you suggest this to?
The dude who's going to play Elvis.
The dude who...
Obviously.
That's it. Be like, Ernesto de la Cruz. Capture that.
Just Austin Butler.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, him.
No, but anyone, like everyone would enjoy this movie. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's beautiful, the animation is amazing. Like, I feel like everyone would enjoy this movie.
All right, I honestly agree. If you love Disney, if you love Pixar, if you love animation, if you want to learn about a little bit more about like the Day of the Dead and like small bits of Mexican culture, this is a great like introductory into that. All right, let's remind people of some guesses.
For personal enjoyment, I guess Derrik gave it a 9 out of 10.
And I gave it a 9 out of 10. For personal enjoyment, I guess Jamie gave it an 8 out of 10.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
All right, we're matched.
For aesthetics, I guess you gave it a 4 out of 5.
And I gave it a 5 out of 5. Like, they're impeccable in this. For visuals and aesthetics, I guess a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Neck and neck.
Oh no.
Neck and neck. Here we go. What's next?
For story, I guessed a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 out of 5. Think it's really good. Little issues here and there. For story, I guessed a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, Derrik takes the lead. All right, final one.
For rewatchability, I guessed a 4 out of 5. Now remember, I still have the bonus point of favorite character. So technically, we're tied.
Okay. And I gave it a 3 out of 5. And I guessed a 3 out of 5 for rewatchability.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I win.